but they look nice.
Yeah. I love that we just had her do a whole like sound check, and you referenced that we were in Edmond, Oklahoma like 14 times.
I don't like to be put on the spot.
In front of no one. It's me and the dog.
It's pressure. It's too much pressure.
Well, you sure delivered.
You're welcome.
I didn't say it. Didn't say thank you. And that's part of the problem, I think.
It's always been part of the problem.
It's never not part of the problem. We're just all problems.
Speak for yourself. I walked in today and Brandon's office is completely different. And it threw me because you're so averse to change.
It's not.
But the couch is pushed way over on the other wall and I'm so far from you.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's guys, when we say completely different, what we mean is that I took a couch and I moved it 3 feet.
You switched places with your drum set, and this shelf is different. I think it's great. The room looks great. It looks fresh. It looks clean. It just threw me because you never change anything. Yeah. This room has looked the same for a decade.
That's
true.
It's not true. Decade, no. 3 years.
8 years.
No, not even that.
Well.
This has been an evolving project since COVID, and it's probably changed orientation 7 times.
Not since I've been coming here. Not this section. Anyway, intro, please, would you?
Hey guys, I'm Brandon Birdwell. I'm one half of the Cold Hands, Warm Hearts podcasting duo.
Hi guys, I'm Ashely Engle. I'm the other half. Welcome to episode 144 of the Cold Hands, Warm Hearts podcast.
That's it.
We sprang forward.
Didn't like it. Thanks a lot, Ben Franklin. You
talked about that last time.
Did we talk about the fact that Arizona just doesn't acknowledge it?
No.
They just don't.
And you would think that they would be one that did because they have quite the large farming sector. And wasn't that why it was created?
Do they?
Arizona?
Do you know that about Arizona?
It's a desert, but don't they have agriculture?
I love how confidently you just committed to...
Oh, I know agriculture.
Oh, I know some farmers from Arizona.
Welcome to Ashely Knows Ag. I'm looking at...
Not a podcast I would listen to.
Ashely knows
A, because I don't think you do. And B... I even if you did, I'm not sure it's something that I'm interested in learning more about from you.
Okay.
Here comes Pastor Ashely with ag info. She's got it in spades.
They grow cotton.
Come on. Ag info in spades. You dig with a spade. That was pretty good.
But I'm looking at this Arizona agriculture department. They grow cotton, citrus, tree fruits and nuts.
Okay,
they've got agriculture. It is the desert, though, guys, so I don't know how much they grow there. But anyway, that's beside the point. We sprang forward yesterday, and it was terrible. I'm on day 2 of springing forward, and I can already tell my sleep is completely off track. It already was, and I'll get into that a little bit more later. But anyway, here we are. It's a Monday, start of a new week. How are you? What you been up to?
It's early in the week, so I'm trying to I feel like I'm still trying to get my feet under me.
Since Cleveland?
Brandon,
I've got news for you. That was a long time ago.
No, it wasn't. We lost an hour, and now I'm still trying to find it. And maybe I left it in Cleveland. I don't know. I'll tell you where I didn't leave it. Arizona, because they don't even bother. And it's funny you say that, though, because jokingly, but I yesterday commented that I felt like I still was trying to make up for Cleveland. Not like make up.
Well, because you shared with us, you stayed up the whole last night you were there.
There was this one time when we stayed up way past midnight.
It's going to take a long time to recover.
You're not joking, and I don't love it. But
you're in your 40s, man. What are you doing?
You're in your 40s, man.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
I know. I don't stay up all night is what I don't do.
Well, fair.
But so nothing last week that you want to fill us in on?
No. No.
Very cool.
We
do a podcast about life, and you got nothing to share?
I've got no life.
Oh.
And so I picked a good podcast to do. I should have picked one about ag, because I know a lot about that. Welcome back to Brandon Knows Ag. And so, guys, the brisket on a cow is a muscle, and it's tough because they work it. And
Anyway, guys, last week on Wednesday, it was our mother's birthday. Shout out Crindy. Shout out Crindy.
Yep.
And so one of the things that we love to do is to take her to a new restaurant each year. And so this year we took her to a restaurant called the Pearl Mesta, which is located in the historic Skirvin Hotel in downtown Oklahoma City. Well, this restaurant is beautiful and new. It is Chef Andrew Black, who's a James Beard Award winner, is the chef at Pearl Mesta, among other establishments here. But it is the most beautiful space. If you live in the Oklahoma City metro area, you should definitely visit Pearl Mesta. We went for lunch, which has a pretty limited menu, but they also are open for dinner.
Right. Keep going.
He's messing with the computer, and I just love, right.
Go on.
First of all, the Skirvin Hotel is gorgeous.
Gorge.
It is certainly haunted.
Yeah, that's the rumor. That's what they say about it.
It is haunted, but that just adds to the vibe.
Sure.
So again, we went for lunch. We opened up with deviled eggs, and as you all know, Brandon cannot resist a deviled.
Lucifer's huevos. I
cannot resist.
I can't.
I know. They also had another thing on the menu that you can't resist, as we all know, oysters.
Oysters.
Mm-hmm. And so we got those, and we also did a truffle parmesan fry plate, which I cannot resist. And I think I ended up French fries. I think I ended up eating 95% of those.
You ate more of them than I did, and not because I didn't want them,
and not because you're gross.
I didn't.
Because I was too busy shoving oysters.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to sit here, and I certainly debased myself with the oysters and the deviled eggs and everything else. The problem with French fries is I can't stop eating.
Nor can I.
So,
and I don't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. I had to make it a point to just like, you know what, bud, just don't.
Mm-hmm. But then all three of us ended up getting the same thing, which was the salmon. And I will say this for the salmon. It was cooked more perfectly than any salmon I have ever gotten at a restaurant.
It was very good salmon. It was.
I need you to engage.
I'm trying. This
is just over here pushing buttons every so often. Right.
Okay, hold on.
It was good salmon.
If you want to know what's happening over
People
here,
don't want to know. They just want you to talk.
Just want to hear about
like
egg.
a normal
I
person.
rerouted my input and output matrix
No
to
one cares.
rearrange the room, and now I'm having to account for it. And it's entirely possible that you know, that's part of the problem. I see a big waveform for me. I see a much smaller waveform for you. I'm a much louder person, but that much louder. That much louder?
I don't know. Can you fix it on the back end?
I'm trying to fix everything all the time.
So the salmon was cooked beautifully.
I thought that the salmon... Guys, can I tell you about some salmon I had last week?
And you unfurl your notes.
Guys, just a scroll of my salmon. Guys, I've been reviewing salmon up and down this country.
Yes.
And I found it. I found the salmon. And guys, it was good salmon.
It was, the thing about it is that it was very crispy on one side, but still moist salmon. You can easily overcook a piece of fish.
It's an easy thing to do.
But this was not. It was, I don't know how they did it, but it was good.
And now listen, it's not pricing wise. We're not talking,
and that's what I was going to say.
We're not talking a fillet of fish price wise.
No.
We're talking more than that.
Yeah.
But
James Beard award winning.
We're talking for the quality of fish though.
Yeah.
Reasonably priced fish.
Very reasonably. We were all shocked.
If I was a food reviewer, I would say come to the Pearl Mesta. Reasonably priced fish.
Yeah.
And get ready.
Haunted hotel.
And get ready to be booked for 6 months out. Reasonably priced. Honey! The man said reasonably priced fish.
Yeah.
And then they'd flock like the salmon of Capistrano.
That's it.
Yeah.
But it was so lovely. And then they brought Mom a piece of the densest chocolate cake I've ever had in my life.
Reasonably priced fish. Very dense cake.
Very dense cake. Delicious cake.
Yeah.
But it's being renovated. So after we ate, we had to go up to the 14th floor to use the restroom.
Back to you. Sorry. I had to make sure that the computer heard you. It hears you.
Okay, I think I said after we ate, we had to go up to the 14th floor, which is really the 13th floor, to use the restroom.
Yeah.
And you have a whole thing about that. You hate it.
But it's not that you had to go up on the elevator to
No, that
TT?
hotels typically skip the 13th floor.
Well, I do agree, but it's not my thing about it. I wish that I could claim it. It's a Mitch Hedberg bit.
Oh, one of your favorite comics.
But I do agree with him on it because it's like, you know, if you're in a haunted hotel and it's the 13th floor and they just call it the 14th floor, you know what floor you're on.
14th floor.
You just do. Have you ever been in a haunted elevator with someone who just, when you turned around, well, okay. Have you ever gotten on an elevator in a building that felt haunted?
Okay.
And there was an old man operating the elevator. And he kind of spoke to you, but not really. And he looked pale as a ghost. Yeah. And then you got off the elevator with your friend and you turned back and he wasn't there anymore. Has that ever happened to you?
At Disney World.
No, but like, has that ever happened to you?
No.
Me neither.
Cool story.
It has, though.
But if it were to happen.
No, it has. It happened at the Oklahoma State Library with Matt Scoville and me.
Oh, it did happen.
I don't know where the man went.
Whoa. They didn't have elevator operators at OK State in the library.
There was a man operating the elevator. I didn't say his profession. He could have been a poet. He could have been a woodworking man.
Librarian.
He could have been that's too on the nose.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I boarded an elevator. I boarded a go up and down box with an old crusty see-through man.
Oh.
And then when I turned back to see if he was still there, he wasn't. And I saw him move, and he didn't move fast enough to get away from me before I could turn and look. I'm just telling you. You don't believe me.
I do believe you.
I don't like the skepticism. And
I'm reacting. I believe you because you're not one to tell stories like that if they're not true. I believe it.
Wow.
You know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Do I?
Well, guys, there's this thing.
I've been saving that story for 143 episodes, and that's the reaction I got.
That's a crazy story.
That was a bombshell.
Where do we go with it?
I have a ghost that I've been carrying with me since the early aughts, and you can't even muster up a ooh. It's a you go, that's not true, Brandon.
I didn't
You're
say
a
that.
liar. You've never seen a ghost.
Goats.
You've never seen goats. I'm just saying, guys, come on over to my paranormal podcast that I'm going to start where I talk about the ghost elevator man, and my sister's not invited.
It's called Brandon's Booze. And he also drinks beer.
Yeah.
While he co-hosts with his ghost.
Come on over here. Brandon gets progressively more incoherent while he talks about ghosts.
He talks to his ghost.
Yeah. Every segment's called "And Another Thing."
And I'm just over here going, ooh.
You're not invited.
Oh,
it's
not
been
even as a guest?
No.
Darn it.
Not even as a ghost.
I lost my chance.
Well.
Okay, but guys, there's this thing that hotels do, and they typically skip the 13th floor because of the superstition that the number 13 is unlucky. There's this fear, and it's real. It's called triskaidekaphobia.
Nailed it.
Triskaidekaphobia.
Sure.
So to avoid like freaking guests out, they take the 13th out and make it go just from the 12th to the 14th.
Which makes
But we all know.
But not only...
We all know.
Not only is that dumb, it also is scarier.
It is
Because it's almost as if the 13th floor just vanished. It's like it's its own thing.
The Twilight Zone.
So if you do get off and you happen to be on the 13th floor, you've gone into the shadow realm.
Portal.
You're in the upside down.
Yeah.
You all aboard, and you hop on with Reginald R. Elevatorman, and he's got his little pillbox hat thing on, and he takes you there, and he opens it, and you get off in the stacks.
Stacks are terrifying.
That's what I'm saying.
The stacks of a library are horrific. In grad school, at the University of Oklahoma, those stacks are dark.
Yeah.
They were back then. And there were a couple times where I thought, not worth it.
Right.
Not worth looking for this book on pre-Columbian art. I'm outie.
The internet exists. I don't need to go to the stacks to find out about a statute, Pumpkin.
Not anymore.
There's 2 reasons to go to the stacks, okay?
Here it goes, guys.
One is if you got to smooch on a gal.
Smooch a gal.
To take a gal to the stacks under the guise of finding out like some sort of like land law. I'm here in the stacks. Oh, I read there's a Tolstoy in the corner over here. And then
It's rare.
And I'm gonna sneak a little smooch on a gal from Greek Row over in between somewhere between Tolstoy and Vonnegut. Here we go. We're gonna find out let's talk about tax code precedents. Or so there's that reason. And the other is to get murked by a ghost.
Yeah.
Is to get plasma slime.
Or to have an allergy attack because it smells very mildewy up
I'm
there.
allergic to ghosts.
It's dusty.
I'm also allergic to smooching gals.
Oh, okay.
Won't do it.
Okay.
Okay? It's not the dust on the books. It's you.
It's you.
You're not. No.
Ew.
I like to wear a sign around my neck that says "No girls allowed" and the G's backwards.
Yes.
I'm a walking clubhouse.
Like the little rascals.
That's what it is. But here's the thing, guys. There's 2 reasons to go to the stacks. 1,
Smooching.
smooching.
2, murders.
Murders and haunts.
Haunts.
Which
Haunts.
that's a catch-all category.
Listen, the stacks are terrifying. Okay, but after lunch,
If you're not smooching, you're Googling. Just go to Google because that's where the info is.
That's it.
But I'll tell you what you can't do on Google. Can't smooch a gal. You also can't get haunted on Google.
You can. So we went up there, and of course, Mom and we were wandering around, so nosy. Up on the 13th, we met a fella who works there.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We met, but without names. Anyway, Mom was like, "What's it like working here? Is it truly haunted, like they say?"
He hated you both.
He
By the
didn't.
way. No, he did.
No, he didn't. He was all too willing to share,
Then he was a ghost.
to give the tea. He might have been a
He
ghost.
was a ghost. Because a real person goes, those 2 ladies, I was just trying to go about my workday, and they came up here full of oysters and truffle and just started asking me questions about
Is it
ghosts at my
haunted?
job.
Tell us what happened.
That's what I'm saying.
It's their paranormal activity. But anyway, he did say that he had never seen a specter. But he said things do move. Things do move around. Lights do kind of go on and off. Shadows have been seen. He said he offices on the 2nd floor and said it is the creepiest. So where did we go? Straight down to 2. Straight back down to 2.
And that's still 2 because we haven't started dropping in phantom floors yet.
Right.
Yeah, it's real. It's a real floor.
That was real too.
Yeah.
I will say it was the creepiest.
Why did you go? You were just going around.
We were. If they're the reason we went, I said this earlier. The reason we had to go up to 14 is because the lobby's being renovated. So if you have to use the restroom, you have to go to 14.
Yeah.
So we used it as an opportunity to just snoop around, take some readings.
I don't know what it is about. I got out my what's it called? It has a name.
PK meter, whatever.
Something like that. It's not EKG.
I don't know. No, it's not an EKG.
It's the PP meter.
That's
because
what
the
it
minute it starts going off,
Yeah.
I PP.
Got straight to the 14th with you.
So I have this thing, and I don't know what it is. It's ingrained. It's a learned behavior. I don't know. Anytime I go to a new place, if I walk into a building, I've been in the car, I walk into a building, it's immediately to the bathroom. Just every time. Gotta pee. Before I leave, gotta pee. It's just something. It's a trigger in my mind.
Nerves.
So, no, I just need to pee.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, fine. Great.
Anyways, so I walk into a restaurant, and before I sit down, because I know I'm going to get in the booth, I'm going to sit there, I'm going to get comfortable, and I don't want to get up to go pee. So I walked into the Pearl Mesta, and I said, "Hi, where's the nearest restroom?" And the gal said, "The 14th floor." And I said, "I'm going to hold it."
Yeah.
And I held it for that whole meal. And I'm really proud of myself. And I learned something about myself. Maybe I don't need to pee every time I go.
It's all mental.
Maybe I need to pretend like every time I go into a building, it's a trip to the 14th floor to make wee-wees, and so I just won't.
Yeah.
Might never pee again.
Great.
Okay.
But it was fun. It was fun to wander. And I will say, I have stayed at the Skirvin Hilton. It was renovated like in the mid-2000s. So we've stayed there before without incident. But there's a lot of history there. And I wouldn't be surprised if there were some happenings. And I don't know how people feel about that. But anyway, so that was Wednesday day. Sponsor us, Pearl Mesta.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sponsor us, Chef Andrew Black. Your food is delicious. So Wednesday evening was the Ash Wednesday service. We are now in the Lenten season for those who follow the church calendar. It's the 6 weeks leading up to Easter.
Welcome back.
Kicked off by Ash Wednesday.
To Ashely Knows Ash. We're going to talk about Ash Wednesday.
That's it.
Where just, guys, you can't see us. I'm completely covered in soot. I'm like a chimney sweep over here. I'm not.
No.
I'm not.
I will say the Ash Wednesday service is one of my favorite services of the year because it's very somber. It's very meaningful. And I get to help lead this service. This is like the third year I've gotten to do this. We went to an Episcopalian preschool growing up. I know, it's a lot of P's.
Episcopalian preschool.
The
It's like-
plosives, the number of plosives.
Do you remember the actor Rip Torn? Mm-hmm. I want to hear Rip Torn's Episcopalian preschool. We're not up here running an Episcopalian preschool. If you can duck a wrench, you can duck a ball.
I'm picturing him as his character in Dodgeball. But we went to...
I grew up in an Episcopalian preschool. We're not hosting an intergalactic kegger.
So...
Do you know who I am? A Rip Torn and Episcopalian... Okay, sorry.
You want to keep going with it?
I
No.
like to do an impression of Rip Torn on a Monday.
So sue me.
Please don't.
So we grew up in that kind of a liturgical school setting in our younger years. And then I taught at an Episcopalian school
Liturgical.
for some years in Oklahoma City. So I have always loved that sort of high church liturgy. I think it's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, don't get me started on liturgy.
But I think that it anchors people to the global body of Christ. And in this time when the church is so super divided over all the things, politics and whatnot,
Sure.
anything that we can do to sort of unify is a good thing.
Sure.
IMO. So I love this service. Our buddy Brandon led worship for this service, and it was absolutely
not
gorgeous.
me.
Not Brandon.
Brandon spelled Branden.
Right.
He spells it wrong. He's a great guy. Spells his name wrong.
It's incorrect.
It's incorrect, Brandon. Brandon. Brandon.
But he did a gorgeous job. But part of what I get to do is to impart the ashes. And so we do the service, and then people come down front, and we have these little tins of oils, and it's called the oil of gladness.
Okay.
And it's frankincense oil, but it's solid in a little thing. So you put your thumb in there, and then you dip it in the ashes, and then you make the sign of the cross on people's foreheads. And you say to them as you're doing it, remember that you are dust, and to dust you will return, which is very somber, but it's a service for remembering your mortality and for remembering your brokenness, which seems like super dark and sad, but it's one of the most beautiful, most meaningful services that I get to do all year. So that was Wednesday night, and I loved it. It was church, and I needed it. Our friend and sound effects sponsor, Sweet D, and I were the ones who got to impart the ashes, and D put ashes. That's for you, D. It's been a minute since we've had a slide whistle.
That's my liturgical slide whistle.
Title.
What I do is here's what happens. I walk up to them, I dip my thumb in the frankincense. I say, remember that you are dust.
Brandon.
I say, I close my eyes only for a moment, then no more.
Very cool.
Next.
You've just offended.
I have not. It's my liturgical slide whistle, and this is how I choose to deploy it. I don't think
to deploy it.
it could be used in any setting. It could be going down, and that's that, and back up to the 14th floor. Or
that was a good one. That was the best one you've ever done.
I've been practicing just in case we talk about haunted elevators and liturgy. Guys?
But I will say, Sweet D, sound effect sponsor, okay. He was poised and ready to go again. She put ashes on 2 babies. And it about does me in. She put ashes on a newborn baby who was in a pouch.
Sure, papoose.
A papoose baby.
Papoose baby.
And then she put ashes on her first grandbaby. And I looked over and she could barely stand up. It was too much.
Well, listen.
It was too much. It's such a sweet and holy experience. Well, and to that end, speaking to that, not to that end, but my family came to my station first. And I thought, you jerks. Now I'm going to cry real hard and won't be able to get through the rest of this.
They came to you because they thought they could skip the line. They thought they could get the VIP.
Elbowing people out of the way.
I paid for the VIP Ashes meet and greet package.
No.
And everyone, one side, my mom's the Ash lady.
I'm so sorry to anyone this is offending because it truly is a holy, beautiful moment.
I don't think it's offensive. I'm just saying there are different tiers. Some people are related to the Ash lady and some people aren't. And guys, there's a hierarchy that we have to adhere to, and it's just the way that it works. Sometimes
only Brandon could make this inappropriate and funny.
I find it wildly appropriate.
Well, my sons are obviously your nephews because they were being silly this evening. So I see them get up and come down to me first. And the first one in line is Asher.
Makes sense.
Asher Wednesday. It's also his day. Yeah. Asher Wednesday.
No, he celebrates privately.
Yeah. So Asher comes first. And I kid you not, I see them and my eyes start filling with tears. And I think, how am I going to stare into my beautiful family's eyes, tell them they are dust and to dust they will return, reflect on our mortality together, my sweet baby children. How am I going to get through this and the rest of the service with everyone else? Because if you're sobbing, people don't want to come to you for the ashes.
See,
they don't want to come to you.
You're looking, oh God.
Right?
She's that one's crying.
That's what I'm saying. Sweet D's line would be out the door.
I'm going to D because she's keeping it together. The Ash lady on this side is a mess.
At least Dee's family came at the end.
Here's the thing.
So she held it together.
Here's the thing. It's because they have a sense of decorum and propriety.
The Ingles are first.
Asher was trying to get saline in the frankincense. No, here's the thing. Guys.
Saline.
Crying, tears.
Got it.
Eye water.
Got it.
Eye water. So here's the thing. I feel like you're viewing this wrong.
Okay.
I tell my kid, you are Ash, and to Ash you will return.
You
all the time.
Have never said those
it's the
words to your
equivalent of
child.
I brought you into this world.
Oh, it kind of is.
And so maybe you should have viewed it as like, what are they going to tell these kids?
No.
I'm going to I remind my kid of his mortality twice a day.
You do not. Stop it. But I had to almost dissociate.
Ben, take out the trash. You are Ash, and to Ash you shall return.
Brandon.
It's just a gentle reminder that he needs to know, do your homework. Do your homework, for we are all Ash, and to Ash we shall return.
True apologies to all people who are listening, who are of the high church and who appreciate some liturgy and the true holiness of Ash Wednesday in this season. But you have to laugh a little bit, guys, because in these moments,
no, understand
it's
that I'm
so
writing
holy and heavy in a beautiful way.
I'm writing a parenting book called "You Are Ash, and to Ash You Shall Return," and it's me crossing my arms on the cover, looking at a kid. Listen, what's holier than parenting? What's holier than parenting? I'm just saying.
Okay. So and this is exactly what my boys did. Okay. So Asher, who's almost 14, is first in line.
Sure.
Okay. He comes up to me and my eyes are immediately filling with tears. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? He peeks in at the little container of ashes.
Sure.
I can't even believe I'm sharing this. And he goes, are those people?
Love it. Best question. It's an end valid, frankly.
He said, are those people?
It's a valid question.
And I said, Asher. Meanwhile, the entire congregation is looking at us.
And you said yes.
No,
And
I
if
said,
you don't watch it.
I said, Asher. And I chuckled a little and blinked back my tears. So that helped me. And I think he could probably tell that I was struggling. So he gave a little comic relief. And then he was sweet and we had a sweet moment. Then Harrison comes up next, eyes fill with tears. I dip my finger in the oil of gladness, dip my finger in the ashes. And he goes, I lean in, he pulls up his hair and he goes, this is going to give me acne in the shape of a cross.
It's not wrong. Again, these are both incredibly valid things for a kid to say. And here comes Hope, and all she did was go, hi.
And sweet Hopi came, and then I actually did cry, and then Jeff came. Guys, I had to have that comic relief so that I could come back into my body, because I truly did dissociate for a moment, thinking, how am I going to do this? And apologies if that offends anyone, but it ended up being the most holy night.
Why would it offend? What is offensive? We must have a sense of humor. I'll tell you this. Have you seen the world? We must have a sense of humor. It feels like we all have to.
We all have
Otherwise, we'll return to Ash much sooner
right
than we thought.
Exactly. But that's what was happening at the Ash station with the Ingles on Wednesday night. It was a beautiful service. Absolutely loved it. It was church. Okay, Friday night, this cracked me up. I was having trouble sleeping because it was a preaching week for me.
Sure.
And sometimes I'm awakened in the night because I'm worried about the things that I'm feeling like I need to say. If it's a topic that's a little bit sticky or if it's something I'm really passionate about, I'll wake up in the night and then it's all over, right? So I woke up and couldn't go to sleep. So I pop on my favorite new sleep podcast, which I shared with you is called Sleepy History. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens that the latest episode was the history of mathematics.
Good night.
When I tell you I was asleep by the second sentence.
Yeah, no. That's that effective. Mission accomplished, guys. You did it.
This is my go-to from now on. If you are having trouble sleeping, I highly recommend Sleepy History, the history of mathematics. I played a little bit of it for Jeff, and he was dying. Right. The guy at the beginning is like, welcome to Sleepy History. And then it's a different person doing the lesson each time, reading the thing. This guy was British. I played part of it for Jeff and he was dying. But he goes, what if something amazing happens? And what if it buries itself in your subconscious and you retain all of it?
It won't.
And you find yourself in a conversation and suddenly you're able to talk about...
It's like a math savant all of a sudden.
Right. You're able to talk about like proof theory or the Pythagorean theorem or whatever with complete clarity. I said, that's not going to happen. No. Do you know me?
No.
Do you know the woman you married?
You're not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it.
You're over here crying at the oil of gladness. This is your area of expertise. This is your where you excel. You don't, leave Pythagoras to his thing.
Leave Pythagoras to Jeff.
You hang out at the doing the liturgy and let him do the mathematics. Never the twain shall meet.
1,000%. No. Well, what I also love is that the guy who narrates it is British, and I love how the British say maths.
Maths. They pluralize math.
And I love it. Okay, so Saturday we rented a U-Haul. Because
just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just because sometimes you gotta rent a U-Haul.
You gotta do a joyride in a big truck.
And you pull up just because you want people to be like, where are they going? Where are they moving? What's back there? What sort of payload are they carting around town?
Funny enough, it had an Arizona license plate. Ag. Big agricultural center. Big agricultural center.
That's what they say about Arizona.
So we were switching out the beds from Hope's room with a bed from mom and dad's house. This is the final step in Hope's room redo.
How many, if we're keeping score, how many beds have you been given by mom and dad?
I
how
knew
many
you were going to say this. You were offered multiple beds. You have been offered the same amount of beds.
Let's do some
from our parents.
Hold on. Let's do some maths. Say I have an abacus. Say I have an abacus and there's a Brandon, deal and an Ashely deal, and we're gonna click the beads for the number of beds.
I love that you're saying this because I will answer back to you so strongly. Go ahead.
I feel like my abacus, 0 beds. Yours, 2 beds. Honestly, no real end game. But just wanting everyone to acknowledge that you could fill a U-Haul almost with the number of beds.
I have filled 2 U-Hauls.
And here I am.
Okay.
Just a
guys, this is the most ridiculous.
A sad boy with an empty U-Haul. I keep a U-Haul on retainer just in case mom and dad offer me a bed. But guess what they will never do? Is they will never
not offer you a bed. You
never
have been offered this. You were offered the bed first that I got for the lake.
You know
that was yours.
No, you know that's not true, right?
It is true.
No. That's not true because
you can take it up with mom and dad because I know it's true.
It's already been taken up by them with me. They apologized. They said, I didn't know you needed a bed. Otherwise, we would have offered it to you. Guys, this is Ashely Engle exposed. She's trying to say that the bed was offered to me first. But guess what? I was sitting here in the back of my U-Haul, unconditioned, sitting here just, please, sir, may I have some more? Just little Oliver Twist without a bed.
I'll tell you what you're doing right now. You are upsetting mom and dad.
I'm a futon child at best. I am. That's the funny thing is, she'll listen to this and she'll call me and be like,
she will, because it's not true.
It is true.
Can I tell you?
You can try.
Okay, I had a mattress, a box springs, and a headboard.
A box springs.
In a box spring, maths.
A maths.
A springs.
A mathstress.
In the playroom of our house, Brandon, for 5 months. Because we offered you the bed.
Oh, that's cool.
That used to be in Asher's room, and you never took us up on it. You never brought a U-Haul.
Because I'm a grown adult man, and I can't sleep on an Asher mattress.
That was for your son.
He can get his own mattress.
Anyway, guys.
He was offered a mattress before I was. I have yet to. If we're playing the hierarchy thing, I'm pretty sure the dogs are getting offered mattresses before.
I'm sorry, did you want Hope's twin bed with a trundle?
Thank you.
That's all I've been waiting
Hold
for.
on. There's a trundle in play? Because I
want it.
I just said I'm a futon child. So
I'm a trundle boy.
I move in trundle circles.
This is the most ridiculous conversation.
Yeah, to you, as you sit on your Princess and the Peas stack of mattresses. And I'm just over here twiddling my thumbs in the back of a U-Haul, waiting for the day that someone will say, hey, Brandon, do you want this mattress?
Do you want this trundle?
And then here's how it would go. Hey, Brandon, I see you in the back of your U-Haul. Would you like a mattress? And I would go, thank you so much. Yes. And they'd go, hold on. Let me see if Ashely wants it first.
Listeners, if you ever have a spare bed, would you please call me? Not because I'll accept it. Not because I need it. Now we're good. We're good for beds.
Yeah, no, we're lousy with mattresses. The Ingles are lousy with mattresses.
But just do it to spite my brother, please.
They keep extra mattresses. They buy them by the 6-pack.
At Glasgow, sponsor us.
Just a literal garage full of mattresses. Brandon.
None.
Sans mattress.
Oh, gosh.
It's fine, guys. I don't need much.
Well, okay, so...
Just one.
So we did this on Saturday. It's the final piece of Hope's room redo. Mom and Dad needed a smaller bed for their room where they have a treadmill in there. And so it worked better for them, worked better for us. But in the midst of loading this, it was cold and rainy on Saturday.
Sure.
Lindsay shows up. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like I want to apologize to her because it was the most chaotic moment. You know, we had Harrison was shirtless, going up and down the steps, loading pieces of this thing.
Of what?
The bed.
Oh, okay.
Your bed.
Yeah, no, I just... No,
Your trundle.
Thank you.
And dogs were barking. Hope was scurrying around. I was eating a banana, just screaming through the house. And here comes Lindsay to borrow a purse for her gala. How did you get out of going to that for her school?
She knows me.
Got it.
And I don't know if there was I'm sure there was an option for me to go.
Right.
But she, bless her, didn't give me the chance to say no.
Got it.
Similarly to how you guys operate with mattresses.
Yeah.
She operates with galas.
Yeah.
She said,
don't tell him.
He doesn't want to go.
He
won't want to go.
Mm-mm. He hates beds.
You can, if I go, it was at the zoo. You can find me at the pachyderm enclosure. Mm-hmm. I'll be over here, just hanging with my derms, because I've always wanted to work with them professionally. Mm-hmm. Dermatologist, I think they're called. People that work with pachyderms.
Dermatologist.
Pachydermatologist. I'm a pachydermatologist. I deal with rough skin.
Thick skin.
Thick skin.
Oh.
Thick boys.
We need some moisturizer.
That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
just rubbing cream on the elbow of a rhino.
I show up with a chamois. I get the oil of goodness or whatever, and I moisturize a derm. And guys, never before have you ever seen a happier derm, a happier derm.
Pachydermatologist.
Pachydermatologist, guys. Don't neglect your screams. But no, I didn't know. I just didn't have to go, which was wonderful.
Yeah.
So Ben and I just kind of hung out. It was great. We broed down. Mm-hmm. And it was awesome.
Broed down. Okay, I made a sad decision this week.
Okay.
It's been building.
I had to get rid of several mattresses.
I love to treat myself to take out sometimes when I'm writing. It's sort of like this reward I give to myself. Like if I can get this section done, then I'll treat myself with whatever food item. Okay. There's this particular place by my house that I like to frequent with a particular dish that I love. And I haven't figured out yet if I want to share what it is.
I want to hear it.
I don't know. Okay. Anyway, the last 2 times I've been in there, the little fella who works in there has paid me some compliments.
Go ahead.
Okay. They are nice. They're very nice compliments. The first time it happened, it caught me off guard. All right. He complimented something I was wearing. Okay. Again, kind. Very kind. But the delivery was odd.
Yeah, I'm sensing a butt here.
There was something behind it. There was a motivation.
Yeah.
If you will. Okay. This didn't happen to me. Listen, sir. I am a mother. Listen. I am in my mid 40s.
You know what? You got to own these things, though.
Do you?
When I get compliments at my local eateries, I know it's coming.
Do you?
I'm in these streets throwing 100 miles an hour right down the center. When I get up in the morning and I set out, I'm fishing for compliments. Mm-hmm. Nice face. Great bod. Your aura.
It's blue.
Yeah. So listen, when I go to Chipotle and they compliment me on how what kind of Riz. I'm coming back to that Chipotle.
See, it's different for me. Something about the way that he did this. It was like the words were kind, but the motivation was iffy. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm listening.
You know. What I mean?
No, I get it.
So this time when I was craving this particular food, I thought, do I go here again or do I do something else? Because I don't know if I have that in me again.
Right.
But I thought, no, maybe he won't be there.
He was there.
I walk in and he's there.
He's risen. He's risen up the gals.
So I get a little bit nervous, but I go in and I pay. The restaurant is empty.
Yeah, it is. Oh, you got to go at crowded times.
Well, I thought I was. This was lunch.
You went at Riz 30.
I went at Riz 30.
You went when he's got a window to fill.
Yeah.
And you know what he's going to fill that window with? Riz.
Iffy compliments.
Iffy Riz. Dude, I came in for a kebab with a side of Iffy Riz, a burrito bowl with
some pit sweats because I got to
Golly.
get out of there ASAP. So it's quiet. You know, I'm trying because I just feel weird. And so I look up and then he is like staring into my soul, compliments my physical appearance. Again,
Okay.
kind, but also the tone, the Iffy Riz. And I just smiled and I walked out real fast. I said to him, I go, so kind. And I literally turned and walked.
Ew.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay, I'll tell you.
panicked.
So here's the good news.
Panicked.
So first off, henceforth from now until forever, I will refer to unwelcome advances as the Iffy Riz
so good.
because holy moly, it's so good.
It's so descriptive.
He
It's
hit her-
what it is.
It is what it is. He hit her with the Iffy Riz. And so here's the thing though. If I witness, so if someone hits someone with a little Iffy Riz, if he hits her with a little meh, and then she says so kind, and then takes her change and her brown sack
My coin purse.
and just leaves, if that doesn't shut him down, it's one of two things. He's either dangerous or he doesn't understand social cues.
Right.
And either way, you got to go back to find out.
I'm not. I can't. I shan't. It was just too weird.
I'm
Again,
going back.
Kind sir,
Tell me where it is.
you have my business.
I'm gonna
You
go-
don't have to compliment me, so I will buy your pho. Oh, I just spoiled it. It's pho.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now.
He's half my age, if that. I am a mother.
he's
I
like-
am in my mid 40s. I am
I was
beyond
gonna say,
this.
so he's like 35 and he's
No.
what is it? Here's the thing. You've got his business.
I don't want to deal with it.
He's got your business, but you've got his business. And so he's not going to stop because I'll tell you this guy's out here.
He's probably doing this to all the gals, which begs the question, why is he still employed?
Did he say you look absolutely fabulous? Was he hitting you with pho puns?
No, because that would have gotten a giggle from me.
Oh, you.
And I would have thought, oh, you do this to all. I would have said something like, so kind.
So you did. I bet you say that to all the Ash ladies. You went in with your Ash forehead and he was still hitting you with the Riz. I bet you say that to all the children of God.
Listen, it made me uncomfy and I can't go back there. I can't. Are there any local establishments that you used to frequent that you can't anymore because something weird or awkward happened to you?
No, because they should be the ones that are ashamed
Oh.
because of what I did.
What'd you do?
No, there's nothing. I've generally been a pretty good patron. There's
I've behaved myself.
There's a few restaurants that I shan't return to
I'm blacklisted.
because I used to own and operate them, and I will not go back.
Yeah. Because they stole years of my life.
And honestly, I'd like to go in and say, could you check the back and see if you've got my 30s? Could you go check to see if you've got 12 to 2018 on the side?
Do you have my soul back there?
Is there any way that you could?
Oh, sorry.
I know that I'm Ash and I will return to Ash soon, but is there any way I could get like 30 to 37 back? Because those were prime years. And I spent them making sandwiches.
Stop it. Listen, so there's no place where anything awkward has happened?
I'm sure there's a fast food toilet I've clogged somewhere.
Brandon.
But guys, here's the Enneagram 7 in me. When I embarrass myself, I promptly forget it. Mm-hmm. And then I move on to the next fast food bathroom. And they should be ashamed because they weren't prepared for me. And that's on them. Sorry, Jack in the Box. Sorry, Jack in the Box on 6th Street.
Listen.
Batten down the hatches.
I'm just really sad because this was like my special reward place. And I just feel too awkward going back. And I don't, I'm sure he's a nice guy. It just, the vibes were weird.
He's kind. He's so kind.
So good.
So kind. I mean, if he does not pick up on the cue of so kind.
I don't know. I don't know if he did because I turned and walked away quickly. I couldn't help myself.
Do you think that if he did, like, do you think that you hit him with a so kind and then after you walked away, he was like, nice.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am so kind.
She likes me.
I can't wait till she comes back next time because I'm going to take it up a notch.
That's why I can't go back.
When she goes back, we're going to make it official. We're going to be going steady. He's telling everyone at the faux place that you're his main squeeze.
Oh, no. I don't like it. Anyway, I'm sure he's a sweet guy. But
Too kind.
she's so kind.
So sweet.
Okay, how is your algorithm?
I don't know.
Same. You know why? Because I'm giving social media up for Lent.
Okay. I'm not, but I just haven't been checking it. It's all food. It's all food. There's a gal who jump ropes who's really good at jump rope. And I watched one of her videos, big mistake. Cause now I get fed a lot of jump rope, not just her,
cool,
but just across the board jump rope.
Is that me?
Yeah, it has to be. I don't have a stupid ringtone.
It's me. Sorry, guys. There's an alarm here to pick up my groceries. Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything to report there because I've given it up for Lent. So enjoy that segment for the next 40 days. Okay. What you been watching, reading, or listening to?
I watched. So some cultures do bar mitzvahs.
Okay.
Some cultures do walkabout. In this house, when it's time for a boy to become a man, we watch the 1989 Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan, and Tiny Zeus Liston classic No Holds Barred.
You did text us that yesterday, yeah.
I dug out my VHS, promptly remembered that I don't own a VCR anymore.
Right.
And then found it on Tubi, because of course it's on Tubi.
Of course it's on Tubi.
And so we watched No Holds Barred last night, and it was a transcendent experience.
Did Ben like it?
He did.
Ben loves bad cinema.
He loves bad cinema, and that's how I sold him on it. So we watched No Holds Barred. So that would be the most recent thing that I'm excited about. And then I listened to, I don't know if you know much about, and I was kind of late to the party, but over the last handful of years, I've come to really like him, which sucks because he's dead now. But Mac Miller, did you ever listen to any of Mac Miller's music? He's a rapper, but he's also very musical, and he like created really, like he was very, very musical, and he played a lot of instruments and did a lot of his productions really cool. Anyways, there's a posthumous release of his called Balloonerism that came out last like 2 weeks ago, and I listened to it twice today, and it's real good. Balloonerism, Mac Miller.
Okay.
That's it. That's what I've been doing. That, and I listened to a bunch of jazz records yesterday.
Jazz.
I like to just get to jazz.
Getting jazzy on a Sunday.
Squee-bop.
Squee-bop.
Tap, tap, tap. What I do is I watch jazz, listen to jazz, and then I watch No Holds Barred because I contain.
I'm a Renaissance man.
Because I contain multitudes.
You do.
Anyways.
So we finished Alone Saskatchewan, and I got Mom hooked on it now.
Oh, I know.
Guys, did she tell you about it?
She was with me and you at the haunted hotel telling us about it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I had to listen to all of that.
I had to shut that down.
I had to listen to all of that from you too.
It is a new obsession. My favorite thing is at the end of the show when they show like a time lapse of the person's, like whenever a person leaves, they'll show a time lapse of their face from the beginning to when they leave, and just like the sunkenness and the grizzled. Oh, it's so good.
Sounds awesome.
The thing with Saskatchewan was the cold. When they started this thing, it was autumn. Lovely. By the end, -20.
Sure.
You're not going to be able to stay warm when you have a handmade shelter and a tarp. You just can't.
No.
That's when people started dropping like flies.
I have trouble in my own home. I could never make it on alone.
I also started Love is Blind, the new one, the Minneapolis Twin Cities one.
I can't with it.
It's just meh.
I can't with it.
I don't, like historically I've watched the show and been very invested. I'm not invested and I can't figure out why.
I would rather go on alone than watch Love is Blind.
Well, funny that you say that because we watched Beverly Hills Ninja as a family the other
Haru, it's so good.
And Asher picked it because he loves Chris Farley.
He could have borrowed my VHS if he wanted to.
We don't have a VCR either. I had never seen that. Can you believe I had never seen that?
It's terrible, but it's
Terrible.
But it's terrible in the best way.
But I said when it ended, I'd rather go to Saskatchewan by myself in -20 than watch that again.
Well, you'd be wrong because it's amazing.
So bad. Okay, podcasts. I listened to an episode of the More Perfect podcast this morning. It was sent to me by my friend Heather, our friend Heather. Hi, Heather.
Mutual friend Heather.
The title of the episode is Sex Appeal. Don't get nervous. It's not what you think it's about. But the series...
It's about a young man at a pho place.
It's about an old mom in her mid-40s.
Ew.
Who loves pho. Okay. The series is about the Supreme Court. Again, don't be dissuaded. But,
you're really hitting all my favorites.
But listen, it plays like a movie, but it's a podcast. Stillwater Connections. It's about a case that Ruth Bader Ginsburg helped to kind of push through before she was on the Supreme Court.
Sure.
To help get gender equality, but it had to do with beer. In the 70s in Stillwater, in Oklahoma, men could not buy beer under 21, but women could, 18 and up. And so she took this law and kind of backdoored this legislation about gender equality, but there's a Stillwater connection.
She ruined it.
Fascinating.
18 to 21-year-old girls had businesses buying beer for dudes.
They might have. There might have been some of them that were disappointed, but it was a great...
Thanks a lot, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Thank you.
For truly all the good you did. But this one thing you ruined for us.
Boo.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
It's a great podcast. Also, one of the recent Mel Robbins episodes with Dr. Vonda Wright, who's an orthopedic surgeon, talking about aging and how movement is medicine and how we can plan for the future and we don't have to age and be frail and all these things. It was packed with good stuff. Okay, what's your warm heart?
I told him that I told him I wouldn't let him down. So I played virtual reality golf with dear friend Levi.
Hi, Levi.
And it was a wonderful experience.
Warmed your heart.
Both really and virtually.
Was it fun, really?
So fun.
Well, does he have like a simulator?
It's a head mask. That's what they call them. So it was just us in there and we could interact with each other. But it was funny because mine wouldn't work. So they swapped them and then we ended up just sticking with the ones we had. So I looked like Levi's. I looked like Levi and he looked like me, basically, kind of. And so it was like, it was bizarre, but it was so fun. And that's my warm heart. Time spent in the virtual world playing golf. What's yours?
Mine was Ash Wednesday service.
And guys, we contain multitudes.
It was such a holy night. It really was one of the most beautiful things I get to do all year, and I'm so grateful. Anyway, guys.
Mine was virtual reality golf.
And that's what we're about. And there it is in a nutshell.
Okay, guys.
Hey, guys. We'd love a rating or a review, but only if it's nice.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk at you next week.
Bye.
Bye.